Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.
Thank you so much. I just love Coach Holly so much. I went to all-girls school and I had a Coach Holly in my life. And those types of women make all the difference when you're trying to navigate this teen turmoil.
Okay, you're giving me chills because yes. And when do we ever tell the story of exactly your experience that you're describing, which is so formative? So I'm thrilled. That makes me really happy.
Yeah, because with the coaches can be a little harsh, but sometimes you need that intermediary who can relate to you, who can relate to the authority. And I think Holly serves that purpose. Is that a fair assessment of how we can discuss Holly and who she is to the story?
Yeah, and I think so. And I think when the show goes on, you'll see what her high school experience was and why she is so protective of the girls. Because as you say, I think there are different ways to approach sports. One is, yes, you want to be elite. You want to go Division I, you want to go pro, you want to be the best. And then there's also a role for sports in kids' lives that isn't necessarily about where that's going to take you beyond school, but what the value is of being a member of a team. And I feel like Holly, as an educator, and because of her own history, she's very protective of that approach to the team, not just about winning, not just about being number one, but also how is this really impacting the girls in their development?
Mm-hmm. When Holly's alongside Coach, would you say that they're dynamic? Is she a foil? Is she more of a true speaker? Because sometimes they're on counter sides of an argument, but it isn't so contrarian. You know, it's for a greater purpose and for her to educate them. Is she a foil? Is she a true sayer? What does she does best? What does Holly do best for Coach?
I think that's a really good question. I mean, I think at first she is a truth sayer because I think she's the one who comes with the experience of these girls and what their needs are. But I think as the show develops, I think she also realizes that she's been in a bit of a rut and that the appearance of this kind of like disruptor into their lives, she has to learn also to grow and to kind of and not be so soft and maybe not be so constantly protective of the girls, but that in fact you're preparing them for the real life, which is nothing like school. And so I think that there's a real dance between her and Coach Korn where he learns from her, but she also has a lot to learn from him.
Mm-hmm. I've been talking to all of your younger co-stars about who's got the actual best basketball skills, and they've been trying to convince me that they are really shooting these shots that we are seeing in these scenes. Off the top of your head, out of the ladies, who do you think has the best shot? Because you're on the court equally as much with them as John Stamos's character. So who really has the best shot?
Well, I love all my players equally, and they all bring different strengths. But I will say that it is true that most of the time they had to make the shot. And what happens as a result is there is no acting on this show because John and I are just standing on the sidelines thinking, please make this shot so we can move on, or please make this shot so we can go home. So when they really make the shot, we are elated as you would be if it was a real game. I mean, a lot of the shooting of the games just felt like a real game and didn't really require any. I mean, when you look back and you think, was that good enough? And they were like, yeah, you were just there. You were winning. You loved it. And so the girls did most of the heavy lifting. And then we just ran up and down and cheered or yelled at them.
I'm just imagining the amount of pressure. There's always a certain amount of pressure when you film a project. You got your crew and the talent and the catering and all the people are there. Now add on to it that you actually have to make a shot in front of all these people.
I know. I mean, we really felt for them. There was actually one day in particular, which was hilarious, where Monique was supposed to miss the shot and she kept making the shot. And we were like, Monique, please, like, could you just be worse? But she kept nailing it. And that the pressure just even to miss was a lot for them. Mm-hmm. But it is true. They were wonderful. It reminded me a lot of Glee in the sense that, you know, if they weren't filming with us, they were practicing. And then we would all stand there and say, okay, show us what you've got. And then they had to perform for all of us. So I give them a lot of credit.
The ladies did wonderful, as you and John. I'm looking so forward to seeing the rest of the season. I've seen a little bit of the beginning episodes, but it made me very nostalgic and made me remember some good times in high school, particularly with my own personal coach, Holly. So I appreciate your character so much.
I'm so thrilled to thank you for sharing that. It really means a lot because I can relate, and I'm just so glad that we're highlighting these people who had such an influence on us. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time today.
Take care.
Better shake your booties for Black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for Black girl nerves.